first people to arrive in the savanna-like Verde Valley were the Paleo Indians. Although the exact date is unknown, it's estimated they arrived sometime between 11 and 12,000 BC. These Paleo Indians were hunters of large game such as mastodon, woolly mammoth, saber-toothed cats, bison, camels, and giant sloths that roamed over wide areas. Sometime after about 4000 BC, archaic hunter-gatherers began to enter the area. They were the Verde Valley's longest occupational group. While these people relied heavily on wild game, they had an increased dependence on plant resources. Their settlement patterns were semi-sedentary, and they migrated in tune with the seasons in their hunt for plants and game. Sometime around 650 AD, a culture of people archaeologists refer to as the Sinagua began to make their presence known here in the valley. Sinagua is a Spanish word, meaning without water. By the beginning of the 11th century, they began to construct large masonry structures, many of them on hilltops, and more than likely defensive locations. It's the remnants and ruins of these structures that are most visible in the area today. Many of these sites are recognized by the Hopi tribe as their ancestral locations. By 1450, as with many areas around the American Southwest, and for reasons still unclear, the Sinagua abandoned the area. Near the end of the Sinagua occupation, evidence of the Yavapai tribe begins to appear. The Yavapai are a human-speaking tribe, as are all Pai tribes, like the Yavapai and the Havasupai. Many archaeologists believe they arrived in the Verde Valley at around 1300 AD, although their history speaks to a much earlier arrival. The Yavapai were semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers who lived and traveled in small groups within specific home territories. They occupied the Red Rock country, including Oak Creek Canyon and the area east to the Verde Valley. The Athabascan speakers, now called Apache, descended from the Colorado Plateau into the area sometime between 1275 and 1400. Many Apache groups were nomadic or semi-nomadic and traveled over large areas, including areas inhabited or visited by other tribes. The American entrance into Yavapai and Apache tradition began in 1860. Exploring and trapping parties had made their way here earlier, but no effort had been made to settle. In 1863, mining camps were established, resulting in Indian hostilities that would continue for a decade until General Crook rounded up the surviving Yavapai and Apache and took them to the Rio Verde Reservation near today's Fort Verde State Park in 1873. They remained there until March of 1875, when an estimated 1,500 Yavapai and Apache were forced to march 180 miles to the Indian Agency at San Carlos. When finally released in 1900, only about 200 Yavapai and Apache actually made it back to their homeland in the Verde Valley. It is the mission of the Verde Valley Archaeology Center to preserve the sites, stories, and traditions of these early cultures who, together with the current residents, share the bounty and beauty of the Verde Valley.